good? Khalil Amani. It's Khalil Amani, and this is Khalil Amani's World 100. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit. It's Thursday evening, and I want to chat with you. I said it's Thursday evening, and I just feel like chatting. And trying to bring a little closure to some of this stuff we got going on here. That's right. First, let me start out by shouting out somebody that's special to me. I value his opinion and stuff like that. My main man, Pennsylvania's own, Melee All Day. That's right. Melee All Day. Go subscribe to Melee All Day. I gotta see what he's doing. We've been out of contact for a while, but we back in contact now. And he wrote me a long, serious post. And I'd like to thank him for his words of wisdom, encouragement, and enlightenment. Yes, I will. You see, I'm not above criticism and critique and even deconstruction. Not at all. And so Brother Melee left me a really wonderful, heartfelt, critical message. And I read every word, and I heed every word, and I understand it. So shout out to my brother Melee. Melee All Day. That brother can sing too. Yes, and you know, it's good when you have people in your life like Brother Melee All Day that can, you know, slow you down, get you back on course, ask you what the fuck is you doing, letting you know that you are above the fray. You better than this. All that's true, all that's true. But let me just say this to Brother Melee and those of you who are waiting for me to get back to doing what I do, content. This is Khalil Amani's World, and we are not above the beef. I mean, I'm above it, but I'm not really above it. You see, what I want you all to understand, Brother Melee and folks, yes, I'm an elder in this community, whatever community this might be. But I'm so glad that the universe, or God, whatever it is that turned on the lights, I'm so glad he made me just like I am. Because one thing I recognized as a young man, even as a boy, that I didn't want to grow old, not physically, but mentally. I didn't want to grow old that way. I looked at my mom and dad and uncles and aunts, you know, just the older people back in those days. They wore their age as a badge of courage. They were serious beyond all get out. And I said to myself, is life really that serious? We have our serious times, but I always wanted to envision myself as someone that no matter at 40 and 50 and 60 and even 70, that I would still have a nice youthful side about me, a young side, that all is not serious, that I know how to separate seriousness from being jovial and playful. I think I've done a good job of that. And so when my YouTube enemies comment on my age and say, "You 65 years old. Why you acting like a 21-year-old? You 65-year-old. You should be sitting down in some rocking chair. You 65 years old. You should be doing this, that, and the other thing." What they are really projecting is that the older people in their own lives sit in rocking chairs. The older people in their lives, they're not on YouTube, Facebook, social media. The older people in their lives, they're not beefing back and forth in a war of words, lip wrestling and tongue wrestling with other YouTubers. I get it. I break the mold and I break the stereotype about how old people in their 60s are supposed to act. And so when people tell me that, I smile, and it's confirmation to me that I'm not like my father and those older generation people. Shout out to them. I just didn't want my age to dictate to a larger degree how I should carry myself and act. I just didn't. I want to have that playful side. I want to have that jovial side. I want to have that fun-loving side. I want to have that youthful side like a YN, you know, a young nigga. And so, unbeknownst to my haters and detractors, my enemies and foes, when they comment on my age and say I'm not acting like I'm supposed to act, unbeknownst to them, they are actually giving me kudos and big upping me, because that's exactly how I planned it. What I see in front of me, what you see in front of me, this is exactly who I planned on being in the twilight of my years. And here's the beautiful thing about me. All the serious shit I've done and I still do, and it doesn't hinder me from coming on here and being youthful like a YN, a young nigga. You see, my enemies can say that I'm not acting my age and why I'm acting like this, and at 65 I should be doing this, that, and the other thing. They talk to me like they know, like they've been 65. But what they are doing, they are judging me on what they see with their own parents and grandparents. Their own parents and grandparents aren't on social media talking rough, rugged, and raw, talking shit and beefing. But the truth of the matter is, what's going on right now between me and the guy in Arkansas, it's a small thing. What I notice is that when I do beef, I get lots of comments, and I appreciate all the comments. But when I'm doing intellectual shit, teaching Bible, teaching history, talking about social things and politics and sexual orientations and that kind of thing, of course, I don't get as many views, and I certainly don't get as many comments. And that's fine, and I understand it. Because YouTube is a medium that's about entertainment. So I say to my brother Melee, calm down. I appreciate your words of wisdom, but it's all good, bro. It's all good. You don't have to wish for the days of Khalil Amani spitting that ism again. It's coming. I rather like to do these beef series and, you know, talk a little shit. It breaks the monotony of being a teacher. It breaks the monotony. It spices things up. It livens things up. And so I have one YouTube nemesis that I think it's time to back up and give it a break. I do agree with Brother Melee. I got to back up. That these things really are beneath my pay grade. But I must admit, Brother Melee, they are hella fun. They are deliciously fun. A little beef ain't never hurt nobody. And considering a man of my background, I don't really have any YouTube enemies except for that fellow over there. I got one little beef, him and his ex-sidekick, the chick. But outside of that, I'm okay. I do a lot of good on YouTube. Do I show my ass sometime? Yes, I do. But that's what makes YouTube fun. Because YouTube for me is a hobby. It's something I do for shits and giggles. I do enjoy teaching though, don't get it wrong. I do enjoy the seriousness of talking about books and stuff like that. I enjoy it. And that is my passion. But I'm not above or beyond getting my hands dirty on some beef shit, okay? This ain't that serious for me. I mean, this ain't that serious. I'm a newly retired man. I'm living my life. I got a beautiful home, a beautiful wife, beautiful children, beautiful grandchildren. Life is simply fantastic for me. And as far as my health, I'm in decent shape, decent health. I can drop down on the floor right now and give you 50 straight push-ups without stopping. That's rarefied air for a man of my age. Because I looked it up. And the official health book says that a man 65 years old should only be able to do 10 push-ups. And that would be considered being healthy and in shape. I do 50, sometimes even 60. So health-wise, I'm doing well. Sure, I've had some health issues. I had Bell's palsy not too long ago. I do have type 2 diabetes. Stuff that comes along with older age, basically. But I'm in good shape. And I'm in good health. And I expect to live another 20, 25 years. But I can surely say that when that hour comes, when it's time for me to check out, when it's time for me to go meet the big man upstairs, when it's time for me to take a dirt nap, my last breath, when it's time for me to die, I can say comfortably, I've lived a wonderful, grand life. I've done most of the things that I want to do in life. I won't be upset that I just didn't get it together. Because I got it together. I can gladly and proudly say at 65 that my academic goals and achievements, although I would have loved to get a master's degree or even a PhD. If I had more time and money, I would probably go back to school. But outside of getting a master's degree, I think I did all right in life. I wrote 6 books that are in Washington, D.C. in the Library of Congress. I was able to spread my message of love, positivity, my message of LGBTQ inclusion. I was able to spread that message and get it in print, magazines, newspapers. I was able to spread my cult awareness message and my own personal story on 6 national TV shows. Starting in 1988, the first national TV show I ever did at the age of 28, it was on CBS. It was called West 57th Street. And that interview is on YouTube today. Look up Yahweh, Yahweh bin Yahweh, and Khalil Amani, and you will find it. I'm rocking the whole Jerry curl. What a beautiful testimony that there's stuff about me in my 20s videos on national TV. And then later on in 2010, I would do another TV show, my second TV show. It was on the Biography channel, and it was called I Survived a Cult. It aired one Saturday, Sunday, in prime time on the Biography channel. And that was a blessing for me to tell my story of trial and triumph. It was a wonderful, wonderful deal. But it wasn't over then. 3 years later, in 2013, the same network, the Biography channel, another show called it was called Escaping Evil, My Life in a Cult, where I was able for a third time to spread the message of cult awareness and tell my story. And then somewhere around 2016, the Investigation Discovery Channel came along, and they too wanted my story, and that would be my fourth national TV show. That's right. Or was it? I believe it was the Oxygen Network, yeah. It was the Oxygen Network that came along, my fourth one. The Oxygen Channel used to be owned by Oprah Winfrey. And so I was able to tell my cult story for the fourth time on national television. And right when I thought it was over, 2016 to 2017, around 2018, the Investigation Discovery Channel came a-calling. And for the fifth time, I landed on a national TV show sharing my message of cult awareness and telling my personal story. What a journey that was. What a journey that was. Hold on, people. What a journey that was. And then in 2019, a sixth TV show came along, the CW channel. And they interviewed me and had me on prime time national television, where I was able to speak my truth and tell my cult story for a sixth time. I mean, how many people do you know that get an opportunity one time to tell their story on national TV? And I was able to do it 6 times. The only thing left for Khalil Amani to do is a movie, and that's where I have my sights set on. A real silver screen movie, or maybe a, what they call it, cable TV series. Netflix. But I have been grateful and for my accomplishments, as the young people call them, my flexes, to stunt or to floss, whichever word you want to. Or as my enemy recently said, I really shitted on them. Even though shitting on them is not really something a lot of young people say, because it involves profanity. But flex is a nice, good word. And yes, there have been The word flex has been out a long time. I didn't create the word flex. And Generation Z or X or baby boomers, nobody created the word flex. It's been around in the English language for probably over 200 years. But the application and the way it's been used is rather new. Yes, there is a DJ Funkmaster Flex. But when DJ Funkmaster Flex came out with his moniker, we weren't saying that that's a flex. That was a personal thing that he used. Flex is the new word. It may have been around 15, 18 years, but it really became popularized in the last few years. Instead of saying floss or stunt, you hear the word flex. It's been around a long time, but it's really hit its popularity in the last probably 2 to 3, 4 years. It really became popular. It's a flex. There's a whole bodybuilder with that same name, Flex Wheeler. I love watching bodybuilding. That's right, Flex Wheeler. I think he was big time in the mid or early 2000s into the late 2000s. So the word flex has been around, but the application and the popularity of the word is rather new. I remember hearing it first in hood speak and in use probably like 3 years ago. Oh, you trying to flex? Now that's a flex. So I realized that flex was the new stunt. It was the new floss. So whatever these people are saying, it's weirdo conversation. The height, the apex, the mountaintop of the word flex is probably about 3 or 4 years old. Yes, you can find people like Funkmaster Flex or Flex Wheeler, Flexigard, Flex or something, denture, polygrip flex or some shit. But when it became popular with Gen Z and Gen X, and when it took over stunt and floss, that happened about 4 years ago. I don't care to debate it. It is what it is. But Khalil Amani did a lot of wonderful things. I'm proud of the way my life turned out. If I pass away or die tonight, I've done a lot of good things. A proud moment, one of the most proud moments of my life as it relates to media, was getting a feature in arguably the most popular magazine in America. Now you can debate which one it is. Some might say it's Sports Illustrated. Some might say it's Newsweek. But believe it or not, Khalil Amani was even in Newsweek. I didn't mean to do that, but that's right. Let me show you that real quick, if you didn't know. Newsweek magazine. Newsweek magazine is one of the most serious magazines in America. When you go to the doctor or the dentist and there's magazines on the table, especially before we had cell phones and shit, chances are you would find a Newsweek magazine sitting in the lobby. But I have to say, never in a million years I think I would even be in one of the most serious magazines in America, Newsweek. Let me just show it to you. Yeah, this is the flex. This is the flex. Newsweek magazine. Inside Yahweh Ben Yahweh's infamous cult, former member Khalil Amani talks charisma and draw of the murderous leader. My goodness. And so when my brother Melee, shout out to Melee again, when he reminds me that I am better than what I'm producing right now, when he reminds me that I am above the fray of the ignorance of my enemies, when he reminds me that these YouTubers are beneath my pay grade, correctly so, things like this legitimize and verify that in fact I really don't have no business even giving that guy 1 minute of my attention. It is only my need for silliness and to have fun and to have the banter and beef that allows me to entertain a fuck nigga like that guy. But yes, Khalil Amani was even talked about in arguably the most serious and respected news medium in America, Newsweek magazine. My goodness. My goodness. You know, and this is why people like my enemies keep me on their radar. There's not too many YouTubers that have beef with other people that are beefing with a real media darling. There's not too many YouTubers that are beefing with one another, and one YouTuber has some real high accolades. God damn, the nigga been on 6 national TV shows. I'm beefing with a nigga like that. The nigga was in the most serious magazine in America, Newsweek. I'm beefing with a nigga like that. It makes people like that feel good about themselves. That a man of my character and stature would come down from the mountaintop and get in the pigsty and waddle around with the trash. But I enjoy it sometimes. That's why I do it. But going beyond Newsweek magazine, a very serious magazine, I'm so happy and honored that telling my cult story on 6 national TV shows, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful thing. But then in 2019, the most famous, in my estimation, you might say it's Sports Illustrated, you might say it's GQ magazine, you might say it's Newsweek. But in my estimation, the most popular mainstream magazine that you see in the grocery stores, it's in the magazine and book aisle, it's also sometimes right there where you check out. I'm talking about People magazine. And so in 2019, my story, once again, after 6 national TV shows, I get my face and my story in the most popular magazine in America, People magazine. Do you see why do you see why this guy in Arkansas with no life loves to continue this beef? I am a gem, a diamond in the rough. He's actually beefing with somebody that has way out media presence. And that's his claim to fame. His claim to fame is that he actually has beef with the dude that's been on 6 national TV shows, with the dude who's been on the most serious magazine in America, Newsweek magazine. And going further, that same guy has been in the most seriously popular, not serious, but seriously popular magazine in America, People magazine, where the cult that I was in was featured in the most popular magazine in America. And going further, they even put a picture of yours truly, Khalil Amani, in People magazine. My goodness. These are flexes that my enemy can never duplicate or replicate. Just can't do it. Let me give some shout outs. I'm just talking because it's a Thursday night and I feel like being on air. Let me get some shout outs real quick. Let me shout out those that have commented on my videos, that are my YouTube friends, YouTube family. Shout out to Brother Lavelle Describe. Shout out to Brother Lavelle Describe. Shout out, I already said his name, but I'll say it again. Brother Melee All Day. A smart young man that puts me in the pocket when he thinks I need to be checked. Shout out to Harris Duncan. Shout out to Harris Duncan. Never seen his face, but Harris Duncan leaves some of the wittiest and funniest comments under my video. Harris Duncan is quite perceptible and understands the banter and back and forth between me and that guy from Arkansas. And he leaves some wonderful comments. Keep commenting, Brother Duncan. Shout out to a once foe, a once enemy who has seen the light and switched positions and changed teams. I'm talking about the messenger Jafar Black Man. Shout out to that brother. We love you, brother. We know that you are not somebody else. You are Jafar, the messenger Black Man. And I appreciate your updates because sometimes I'm busy and I don't see what's going on. But Jafar, the messenger Black Man, he will come over and let me know what the opposition is talking about. So I appreciate his eyes. Yes. Shout out to Tony P 2023. Tony P is another person that comments on my videos, and I appreciate his comments. Shout out to my main man, Zartan. I've known Zartan for a long time, and Zartan keeps me informed if I miss something. He says some really brilliant and funny things. So shout out to Zartan. That's my man, okay? Shout out to Sister Occult. Sister Love. She has a long name. I believe she's a Hebrew Israelite. But she comes on my page and she lets me know what a fuck nigga the Arkansas guy is. And I appreciate that. Shout out to my main man, Hamp Doom TV. 900K. Hamp Doom TV, he's got my back. He's got my back. He does videos with my name in the title. And he comes to my defense. And he gets at my opposition. I appreciate Brother Hamp Doom 900K TV. Shout out to Truth Seeker 3713. I see you, Truth Seeker. Shout out to a YouTuber that I recently reconnected with, as with Brother Melee, I recently connected with. But shout out to my man Jay Quill, Ghost Jay Quill ATL is his channel. And Melee All Day, go subscribe to his channel. But shout out to J Quill ATL. J Quill ATL is a truck driver. He does a lot of videos from his truck. He drives, you know, this 18-wheeler semi. And his videos are really interesting to see him drive that truck and to watch his videos from his cockpit. From the vantage point and the viewpoint of a trucker sitting up high going down the highway. But while he drives, he has a lot of informational videos and conversation. Shout out to J Quill ATL. Please subscribe to him. Of course, shout out to my main man, Sonetter. That's the homie for life. That's the homie for life. Great job. Always bringing on informational brothers and sisters. Sometimes the people he brings on turn out to have some very seedy backgrounds, but that's what happens when you're a journalist and you are interviewing people. Things come out about them, and it is what it is. Shout out to another young lady I've known for a while. I just reconnected with. My girl, Miss 504, the Mouth of the South. Her YouTube channel is Nola Girl 504. N-O-L-A, Nola, and then girl, G-U-R-L, not G-I, G-U-R-L, Nola Girl 504. Check her out. She does a lot of beef. She talks a lot of shit. But I love watching her channel. I be in the bushes a lot. I never really comment, but I love listening to her, and she's got that New Orleans, Louisiana flavor, you heard, she got that old New Orleans flavor going on. And it's interesting to hear her southern New Orleans style of talking as she gets her beef in. So I go over there and watch her, and if you like a little beef with a little New Orleans flavor, check out Nola Girl 504. Shout out to my girl Queen's Throne. She's doing a lot of work. She lets us know when children are missing. She does a lot of work. She has her beef with people like Sonetter and whatnot, and I stay out of that because Sonetter's my man. But I still got great love for Queen's Throne. Go subscribe to Queen's Throne. She does a magnificent job of editing and cutting stuff up and driving her points home about whatever she's talking about. But she really is an activist and an advocate for the children. So go subscribe to her channel. Shout out to my man Chris Harris. Chris Harris, MVP. He's a guy that's very intellectual about the Bible and history. I love his mannerism and his speak. Very good speech. Talks very educated. And he brings receipts and information on religion and history and whatever. Chris Harris, MVP. Shout out to somebody that comments every now and again on my channel. A person named, I guess it's a man. His name is Slewfoot Slim. I've heard that name somewhere, but every now and then he pops up in my comment section to leave me a wonderful message. Shout out to Slewfoot Slim. Shout out to Soleiman. Soleiman, he pops up every now and again. Shout out to you, brother or sister. I'm not sure. Shout out to RBG all day, every day. Another person, young man that pops up in my comment section and says some good positive things. Shout out to somebody going way back that actually did videos, 2 or 3 videos about me. A white dude from New York, an Italian brother. Uncle Nick. I think in my shorts, I think I have a video or 2 where Uncle Nick is speaking. I'm pretty sure. Uncle Nick, he understood my story about writing and being the first to talk about Africa Bambaataa molesting, young men. Uncle Nick was somebody that jumped all over it, and he defended me when people were trying to take my story away from me or claim that I wasn't the first to write about it. Uncle Nick jumped all over it and said Khalil Amani was the first to talk about Bambaataa. Shout out to Uncle Nick. Shout out to DMG. I can't think of his name. I know it's DMG. DMG interviewed me on his channel. We had a great interview. He made a really beautiful profile thumbnail for our interview, and he said my interview with Khalil Amani the Great, or the Great Khalil Amani. I appreciated the props that he gave me. I didn't know that he felt that way about me, to call me the Great, but I appreciate it. It put a big smile on my face. DMG Poet, I think that's his name. Anyway, shout out to that brother. Shout out to my man Hassan Campbell. We don't really talk a lot, but when we're on Instagram, we do like one another's pictures. He likes my pictures. I like his pictures. So we're in a better place, despite what some think that Hassan Campbell is my mortal enemy. He's not. Me and Hassan Campbell, we had our back and forth. We had our war words. But he's in a better place and a better space. And I'm certainly in a better place and a better space. So shout out to Hassan Campbell. I love how he's blown up and had a chance to be on places like Vlad TV and, you know, all over the place. Academics, and talk to WAC 100 and on Adam 22. He's really done the damn thing. He made the best of his YouTube career. He left all of us in the dust. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. Shout out to J. Lee Chronicles. Don't see him a lot these days, but shout out to that brother. He interviewed me on his channel. We had a 3-hour interview, and it was swell. It was wonderful. But I know he's down in Arizona, a family man, beautiful wife, beautiful children. He's doing his thing. Shout out to J. Lee Chronicles. Shout out to Sister Nepal Shada. I will forever have love for Nepal Shada, because there was a time when I had Bell's palsy back in 2021 or so. She called me on the phone, her and Sarnetta, and they prayed for me, and she gave me words of encouragement, and she gave me some home remedies that might help me with my Bell's palsy. So for that, I have forever eternal love for Nepal Shada. Shout out to my man Unseen Soldier, MK the Mac. You know what I love about Unseen Soldier? He's so brilliant at what he does. We don't need to see his face. My goodness. I don't want to ever beef with Unseen Soldier. That guy has his ducks in a row, and when he does a video on your ass, you are toast. I mean, what he's doing to right now, what he's doing to, who's that he's doing with? Judah Nazareth. That shit should be outlawed. It should be criminal. I mean, Unseen Soldier, he takes his time. He puts his videos together. He edits them. He puts everything together. He shows what you said back then and shows what you're now saying now. So there's some beef with a dude named Rob Rack. I've heard of him over the years, and he was in jail for beating up a chick, and he was dating some chick. I don't know, Rob Rack. I don't know why there are a few women that, you know, like Rob Rack, you know, sexually and intimately, relationship wise. But because when I look at Rob Rack, and I'm not dissing the man. I don't know him. I got no beef with Rob Rack. But looking at him, his physical aesthetics, he's nothing to look at. He's a fat, overweight dude with a chunky face and a fucked up afro. But he pulled the bitches. He pulled these bitches on YouTube. He's dated a few YouTube chicks. But my man Unseen Soldier is destroying that whole Judah Nazareth. He's tearing them up. Unseen Soldier puts together some videos. He also, this same person, this YouTuber, Unseen Soldier, MK the Mac, go subscribe to him. He's just a wonderful person to listen to. He talks slow enough where you understand what the fuck he's saying. He puts his videos together where you understand what he's saying. He has the receipts and the goods. If he says that Judah Nazareth allowed his children to watch porn, he's going to show you the video of Judah Nazareth saying he fell asleep drunk and his children came in the room and saw the porn and said, "What is that?" So shout out to Unseen Soldier. I think his last comment on my page was, "I had some dope kicks, dope sneakers." Shout out to Unseen Soldier. And not to mention Unseen Soldier, he also buried the Arkansas fellow, the one that I'm beefing with. He buried him on his show. He went on his show, and it was Unseen Soldier that told us in that man's face that he was around 18 and there was a 12-year-old girl and they ran a train on the girl, and the Arkansas guy made the 12-year-old perform fellatio, gave him sloppy toppy head, dome brain. He told him that to his face because evidently the Arkansas guy once upon a time was talking too much and told a lot of young men in the back chat that they had ran a train on a young Latina Hispanic woman. Oh, that Unseen Soldier ain't nothing to fuck with. He's a trucker also. Shout out to him. Shout out to my man Reverend X, a young brother that's suave and debonair. A brother that I first had a little beef with, you know. But I'm a man of a certain age, and he could be my son. And we came to peace, and I appreciate what he does. He does a lot of great videos, parroting, putting your face, showing your face, and putting words to come out your mouth. What a wonderful YouTuber he is when he's doing that type of stuff. Yes, Reverend X. Of course, shout out to my hip-hop boss, DJ K. Slay. May he rest in peace and power in heaven. Shout out to Big Gene Deal. We've been in communication. We have each other's phone numbers. We've had one text conversation. But I told myself I'm going to back up and wait till the whole, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs trial was over, because I know he was focused on doing a lot of interviews because he used to be the bodyguard of P. Diddy. And so me and Big Gene Deal, we have some work that we're going to do down the road. Big Gene Deal was also the bodyguard and personal chauffeur of my hip-hop boss, the late, great DJ K. Slay. So our worlds are going to collide soon. I've given him time to deal with the whole P. Diddy thing. But we do have each other's information, and we shall, in time, get together. I plan on actually going to New York and sitting down with Big Gene Deal to talk K. Slay and some other things. Shout out to The Beat 139. They did a pretty wonderful interview on me some months ago. Shout out to those brothers from New York City. Shout out to my main man, the controversial Whack 100. Whack 100 knows me from Straight Stuntin' magazine. We both were employed by K. Slay's magazine, Straight Stuntin' magazine. We both been on the same boat, same party in New York City on the Hudson River with K. Slay. I've written articles on Whack 100. I've talked to Whack 100 on the phone a couple of times. And Whack 100 even interviewed me on his Clubhouse radio show. So shout out to Whack 100. That's the homie. That's the homie. Shout out to Gorilla Hebrew. I'm not quite sure what to make of him. I've reached out to that brother a couple of times just to give him words of encouragement, words of wisdom in regards to his most present dilemma with the whole pegging incident, the sex talk between he and his ex-wife and how that got leaked out, and You know, I've given words of encouragement like, you're a grown man, you ain't got to explain your bedroom banter to these niggas out here. Fuck these niggas out here on YouTube. No matter what you're into. Pegging, homosexuality, whatever you're doing with the woman behind closed doors, or with the man, or with a device, a dildo, who gives a fuck? You grown. You ain't got to explain yourself. Those are my words of wisdom to Brother Gorilla Hebrew. He knows who I am. He might hold me standoffish because he knows that I was a government informant, a former Yahweh, a former Hebrew Israelite. I don't know how he feels about that kind of thing, but he's aware of my presence because I have given him some pretty long counsel via YouTube. And last but not least, no, not last but least, shout out to Global Media Inc. Shout out to that brother. I've known of him for some years and just recently had some correspondence with him, so shout out to him. Now, last but not least, y'all already know who I'm talking about. The beautiful, the intelligent, the best speaking voice on YouTube, in my estimation. A biracial beauty, a woman that's going places in this world, a woman that in her late 40s is financially stable, owns her own home, vehicles, a woman that's on track to becoming a millionaire in a few short years, a woman that has a YouTube channel that talks about various governmental conspiracies, investigations, UFOs, you know, spacecraft, aliens. A channel you should really watch. I'm talking about the inspirational, the educational, the smart, and the brilliant, and the beautiful, and the intelligent. Leak You. One word. Leakyou. Leak You. She's got a series of channels under Leak You. Also, her other channels are called Interloper Nation. Please go subscribe to Leak You and Interloper Nation. She does some beef, a little beef, but she has a lot of great information over there. She interviews, you know, top people in their fields, whether it be, like I said, government, the UFO phenomena. She is top tier when it comes to talking about, you know, governmental conspiracies surrounding UFOs, or they got a new word for it, IUPs or some shit. They got a new word. Anyway, go subscribe to her channel. And that is my play. That is my YouTube wife, my queen. That's my heart. Leak You, Interloper Nation. We will be forever friends on YouTube and off of YouTube. All right? I just wanted to mention all the people. I'm sure there's somebody I might have forgot. My apologies. But I wrote down a few names that I could think of that really keep this channel going. I mean, if I didn't have the Melees and the Harris Duncans and the Brother Lavelles and the Leak Yous and the J Quills, you know, if I didn't have the Zartans and the Tony P's, if I didn't have these people, the J Lees and the Zartans and all these wonderful people letting me know, the Hamp Dooms, if I didn't have these people that come over, some share my videos, some leave comments, if I didn't have these people, I don't know if I could continue doing YouTube. So I say to all of those people that come watch my channel and leave comments, I read them all. I hit the like button and the love button. And if it's something that I don't agree with, I still, as long as the comment is respectful, let the comment stand, and I still give you a love and a like for speaking your mind. Because the bottom line is, you don't always have to agree with my position. No. I can take disagreement quite well. I'm not thin-skinned. I can take it. As long as comments are respectful, right on, right on. But it is the comments that motivate me to continue to come on and do YouTube. And now that I am unemployed and retired, I can YouTube more if I want. But I'll give you all, I'll just drop this on you. I've been offered 2 positions at 2 different hospitals. Actually 3. I was offered a position 2 or 3 weeks ago. I accepted it, and then last minute, I rejected it. I'm already retired, and I already got hired on at one hospital, and now I got 2 other hospitals. Got a call today, and I already got 1 job offer. Don't know if I'm gonna take the job. I've accepted it, but there's some legalities that we got to get past. It's tough. If you know my background with having had, different names, social securities, there's a lot of extra stuff that has to go into actually crossing over from me applying for a job to getting a job. I try my hardest not to let my former name, my former situation, carry over to now. But sometimes on these job applications and background checks, things have to be, because I work in a field where I have to have certifications. Some of those certifications are not in Khalil Amani. They're in my other name, and then it gets real tricky and dicey. A lot of questions start being asked, and I gotta have a sit down with human resources and try to explain these things before they actually give me the stamp to say, okay, you're hired. I mean, I'm hired, but okay, you're really hired. So that's where we're kind of at with one of these jobs. I've accepted it, but there's some dicey, tricky things. There's some things I got to get past, some hurdles. It's not bad if I don't get the job, because I got money, I'm good financially and whatnot. But yeah, but I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit and say we are going to start moving on. We're going to move past the beef. I've scorched that guy. I've shown that he's not a flexer. He has no flex about him. None. He's over there crying the blues and pissed off that I showed a few pictures of his family. I mean, isn't it super weird that this bitch nigga for years have shown my mother, my father, my brothers and sister, have shown my children, have even reached out to my family on Facebook, send them nasty notes and nasty videos. He's done all of this. And today, he's crying like a straight bitch because I exposed the fact that he's a hypocrite when it comes to ethnicities and the diversity of we Americans. Oh yeah, the nigga talks terrible about my deceased mother. He's called her every name in the book. And I've never called his deceased mother a bad name, because I'm better than him, and I choose not to lose my humanity here on YouTube. See, some YouTubers, they shouldn't be on YouTube because they get on YouTube and they lose their fucking minds. They lose their humanity. They lose their souls. Like the woman that I'm dealing with also. She's so beaten down from losing her son to the state of Alabama that she calls him things like a little bastard, tells other YouTubers they can adopt him. She comes on and says she ain't got no soul. Weak minds like that, they have no place on YouTube, because if you can let people you've never met take your humanity and your soul away from you, you are a weak person that doesn't need to be on social media. And so I will never speak ill of dead people, and even my enemy that talks reckless and crazy about my deceased dead mother. And his mother is dead and deceased, but I have never called that woman out of her name or talked reckless about her. Because I hold and pride myself on the fact that I'm better than him. And I don't need God. I don't need religion. And I don't need the Bible to keep me in line and in check. I don't need religion and spirituality and God and Jesus and the Bible to know that I'm a good person in here and I'm a good person out here. When you're good, you're good. Some good people can go to church and they like the Bible. Beautiful. But there are people like my enemy, as you see the Arkansas guy, that they need religion, they need the Bible, and they use religion and the Bible as a kind of a band-aid because their true character, their true nature is that they are not a good person. They're just not. I know y'all hear a cricket out there. I got the window open. Excuse the cricket. But when you are born a good person, when you are naturally just a good person, you don't need God. No, you don't need God. You don't need religion. You don't need the Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh, the Gospels, the Vedas, the Quran, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Bhagavad Gita. You don't need no so-called holy book when you are naturally born a good person. And so what you see over there as I close is a man that wants to be a preacher, a teacher, a pastor, a rabbi. He wants to be a man of God. But nothing about his YouTube channel and his life's work speak to him being a holy, beautiful person. And so the Bible and his religion is just a band-aid for the real him. When he takes the Bible and sits it down, it's like taking a band-aid off of a scab and the scab comes loose and the blood starts trickling. That's who he really is. Good people, and this goes for the woman that calls herself a queen too. Good people don't speak ill of dead people. Naturally good people don't talk about dead people and make silly excuses that they are dead and they are resting. So what? Why do I have to respect them? That's what she says, the chick known as Gwinnetta. Good people have an appreciation for humanity and for those who have gone on to glory, have passed away, and understand that they should be reverenced and respected. Good people. But when you're not a good person, you find things like God and religion and Bible to try to cover up who you really are. Again, I don't need God. I don't need Bible. I don't need religion because I know who I am as a person. I'm a good person. Flawed may I be. Flawed though I may be. I'm a good person. And that's why I don't speak ill of the Arkansas's dead mother. That's why when I did my video and I brought his family up, there was no negativity there. No negativity. That's what he wants. And so he's all upset right now that I brought his family's pictures out in the most respectful and kind and loving way. He can't deal with that. If I were to come out and show his family pictures and start calling them names and treating them like he treats my family, that's the kind of shit he can deal with. And so he's mad over there. He's trying to create drama with his family against me, although how and why would his family know what's going on YouTube unless he lets them know? And then in his hypocrisy, in this guy's hypocrisy, a year or so ago, he went to Facebook and he dropped dime on me. He reached out to my brothers, my sister, my nieces and nephews. Nasty letters, nasty videos. I never reached out to his family. I simply used a few of his family pictures to show that those people over there have a family member that is highly prejudiced and highly racist and against people that are in college fraternities and sororities. I simply used that guy's pictures wherein he had people that are Caucasian or European with biracial children. And then in his hypocrisy, he comes on YouTube and then he goes at the YouTuber that I just mentioned, Leak You Interloper Nation, who is a biracial beauty, calling her white cave bitch and white bitch. And all I did was show his hypocrisy. How can you call a biracial YouTuber a white cave bitch and a white bitch, and in your own family you got so-called white cave bitches and white bitches, and you got biracial relatives? That was the point of that video, and he's mad about it. But in his hypocrisy, he thinks he can do my family that way. But when I do his family, even though I didn't do his family negatively, I did his family positively. He thinks he can post a picture of my mother and put over my mother's head, matriarch of whores, of whoredom. That's what he did. My deceased and my dead mother. This fuck nigga, and I'm about to close, but I wanted to make this point. This fuck nigga contacts my family. This fuck nigga takes pictures of my deceased mother, puts them on his channel, and over top of his channel, he labels it matriarch of whoredom. I'm going to show you the picture in just a second. And that's fine and Jim Dandy. He thinks he can do my family like that. But then when I show beautiful pictures of his family, I don't diss him, I don't disrespect him. I show and I say he has a beautiful family that has Europeans and biracial mixes, as most of our families do. Yeah. He gets all up. He makes videos like they're coming from parking and they're coming from Chicago to get me. My goodness. The double standard. This bitch nigga thinks his family is important and my family is a piece of shit. He really thinks he can do it to me. And I didn't do it to him. All I did was show the world that this guy has a beautiful family that's mixed with white folks and biracial children, and they got family members that went to college and joined black fraternities and black sororities. The reason I did the black fraternities and the black sororities, because he teaches that those of us, hold on, gotta have my cap. I said he teaches oopsie. Chipped over my light. I said that guy teaches that those of us who went to a college or a university and joined a fraternity or a sorority, he teaches that the only way we got into this fraternity or sorority is that I had to get down on my knees and suck cock and get on my hands and knees and take a penis up my rectum. That's what he teaches about fraternities and sororities. And so when I go over to his page, and I see that he has family members that are in a fraternity or a sorority, I post the pictures of his family with the Greek letters on their chests. That's right. And so, that's right. And so, that's what he's mad at. It ain't so much that I showed a few beautiful pictures of his family. He's mad that I showed the hypocrisy of his teaching, that he can call biracial YouTubers white K bitches and white bitches. Yet at the same time, those same types of diverse ethnicities are in his own family. That's what he's upset about. When he preaches and teaches that young men and women who join college fraternities and sororities are getting fucked up the ass and sucking dick as part of the initiation ritual, and I show that he has family members who wear the Greek symbols of fraternal and sorority, brother and sisterhood. That's what I did. I showed his hypocrisy. And so now he's all, I don't know what they're going to do. If they find out, ooh, if my family find out, ooh, what you did. Posted a few pictures of your family and spoke nothing but positivity and glowing things about them. What they going to get mad at? What they going to get mad at? Their pictures are already on social media. If you that invested in not wanting nobody to share your pictures, you should get your ass off of social media. That goes for me too. If you put a picture on social media, it's liable to be used, hopefully in a positive light like I did. The Israel Doctrine is mad that I shine the light on his hypocrisy of ethnicities and hypocrisy of fraternities and sororities, that the people he talks bad about, those same people are in his family. If his people are smart, if any of his relatives are smart and they see my video and they watch my video, they're not going to have questions for me. If they're smart, they got questions for Carl. They're going to ask him, you really said that about biracial people? And you know we have a niece and a nephew that's biracial? You really call biracial people white K bitches? And we got a white relative married to a nephew? They have questions for him, not for me. You really said that our niece who's in a sorority had to suck a dick and get fucked up her ass to become a member of that sorority? You really teach that stuff, Carl? Yes, he teaches it. Yes, he teaches it. Yes, he teaches it. The fuck is they want to come to Denver to see me about? The fuck they gonna do something, beat me up or shoot or stab or hurt me? I respected the Davis family. You want to go to jail over a YouTuber posting pictures of your family? Is it that serious? Is it that serious? I'm pretty sure that the Davis clan are more intelligent than this guy Carl. And they have stuff to live for. They're not coming to Denver to do something to me over a picture posted on social media. These people have families, husbands, wives, children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews. They have a reason to live. Only someone that has no reason to live will come to Denver to try to do something for me, do something to me. Only a man with no children, a man with no wife, like Israel Doctrine, would throw his whole life away to come to Denver to hurt me for posting pictures of his family, even though he posted pictures of my family first. But there's a distinction. The pictures I post of his family are respectful. They're not denigrating or derogatory or disrespectful. But let me show you what he does when he posts a picture of my mother, and then I'm going to be done. See? This is Khalil Amani's beautiful mother on her wedding day. This is what he does. He takes my mother's picture and he titles the picture Matriarch of Whoredom. How can a person like this be mad at any clapback from another YouTuber that might post his family member's picture? You see the double standard? You see the hypocrisy? He can take it, he can dish it, but he can't take it. But this is my mother. This picture is circulated on 2 or 3 of his channels. See? Another post by Israel Doctrine, aka Carl Albert Davis, about my deceased mother. I said, make sure you show the Davis clan this one too. And so while he's in an uproar over me posting pictures of his beautiful family, never disrespecting them, look at what he does to my family. You can't find a picture that I posted of anybody in his family where I said something nasty or disrespectful. That's the point. All right? All right. We're going to wrap it up. That's why it's weird. It's weird and it's wild that he's mad about what my video did. How can you be mad at me posting pictures of your family when you did it first? And the difference is you posted pictures of my family calling my mother the matriarch of whoredom, and I posted pictures of your family and I said positive and glowing and beautiful things about them. You're a fucking hypocrite, my nigga. But as I end this one, we're going to wrap this. We're going to go on to some stuff. The next video I shall do will be something other than talking about this crap. So we're wrapping it up, okay? I have shitted on him. I have flexed on him. I have flossed on him. And I have stunted on him. With that, y'all, we're going to move on to something better, some positive stuff. Just remember, I love you all for a better world. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Peace.